Yahoo YouTube, I am Supagenki, and yeah, I think I'm just doing a little prep up for today's video. I'm super stoked for making tonight's video, and it's gonna be a World of Warcraft Classic video. I'm gonna place it on my video channel, not on this one. But I love that 6-hour stream. Oh, I can watch it forever, man. I had such a great time, man. I love this game. I really do. I can play this game for so many hours, I swear. And like, you don't know how hard it is to play video games for me nowadays. It's been difficult ever since like I figured out what I wanted to do with my life. That's primarily because of the video games. I have this kind of like what would I have? I have like this disposition to not want to play new video games, and old video games are tough, man. They're tough to find. I can tell you that much. But WoW Classic has really brought in a new light to my thinking, and I already have the video footage for the video. I already have the audio footage that comes along with the sound quality. I just have to record the audio, which means I do have to do practice and I have to wait until people stop. But yeah, I'm just having a good time over here in Ashenvale. I'm having a great time over here in Ashenvale, I can tell you this. I have my new ability. It was a mistake, but I guess it's not so bad. It's a cool ability to have. Like lights up the ground and stuff. What are we looking for here? Looking for Doll Blood Claws. Yeah, it's really interesting stuff, I can tell you this. Having a really great time. It makes me really not want to. It's harder. It's so much harder to talk. Like there's classic and modern or like retail. They serve different purposes. Like I think if I want to relax, if I want to like not have to play, not have to like focus, because you have to focus when you're playing classics. It's very time heavy and focus heavy. And I do feel like there is something about it that makes me think very deeply about whether, like, because I don't want to give either one of them up. I just want to be able to play both of them, but they both have very specific times and places in which they're to be played. I'm still riding on that classic train, so I'm not like ready to switch back into retail yet. But maybe when I get to Spain, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna be a journey. It's gonna be a journey. It's getting back into this. It's gonna be a journey. Yeah, I'm just trying to slow down my speech. I have a tendency to speak very fast when I'm like rehearsing videos, which is, I mean, it's okay. Like, ideally, I wouldn't want to be doing. Ideally, I want it to sound more flowy, more like punk rap. Punk rap. I should listen to the punk rap video again before I Oh shoot! I pulled this at a really bad time. Like when we had no mana. I think we'll be fine. And we already got him. Basically what we need is totemic warriors. Black Fathom Deeps. And I have Flash Shield, which is nice. I think it doesn't eat up a lot of my mana. But we'll talk about this stuff later. We still have to finalize our packing, so we don't leave until 5 o'clock tomorrow, so we have a lot of time. The apartment hunt has gone good. I'll be getting my apartment very soon, and that'll be cool. I'll be getting my apartment, and that'll be soon. So we're gonna be doing that stuff. What else? Yeah, things are just going good. I'm actually happy that Dorina kind of did this, because I think it's going to be a much better experience because I've been here. Excuse me, it's been a much better experience because I got to play a lot of WoW before I left, which does make me want to continue the Genki and continue it all the way over to, what's it called? I'm not a tank. I mean, I have a tank ability, but I don't know. I'm a healer, buddy. I want to be a healer. Let's get these warriors. These guys, like I'm telling you, I mean, I'm also in a party. But I could keep aggro if I wanted to. I could be a tank if I wanted to. I mean, I don't know. I have a lot more mana than I do health, though. We still need totemic warriors. And we do need... I mean, this is like a way of life, man. I swear. WoW is honestly like a way of life. I'm really excited. I want to make this video tonight. I have a lot of topics that I'm going to talk about. In fact, we're going to do some rehearsal right now, in fact. We have a stream script for today. Not like traditional stream script, but I have to practice. Because big thank you, first of all, to Jay Alianak Brakos, one of the lead developers of Retail World of Warcraft, because without him, I guarantee you we would not have had a classic release. Because he's very vocal in his disapproval of classic. And I, honestly, man, you cannot fault the guy, because he did a great job in expanding WoW into two kinds of player bases, casuals and then hardcore gamers, and I thought that's phenomenal. And also, he's the reason that I got to experience Classic at all at launch, because I was definitely not playing Classic at launch, you know what I mean? And it was just an amazing experience, I think, to be able to be here playing Classic. Can I move around? No, I can't do that while I'm moving. Yeah, and second thank to Mark Hearn and the Nostalgious Progressive Realms team for actually creating Classic WoW over the past 2 years, and for bringing it to the top of Blizzard, because definitely without you guys, it would have never happened. So big thanks to you both. But the biggest thanks that I have actually goes to, oh, and dude, I haven't done my tagging at all for my stream. Yeah, you know, like, no one would ever know. But I mean, I'm gonna still be streaming Classic WoW, like, when I get over to Spain, I think. But yeah, like, my tag game needs to be better. Like, my tag game needs to be way better. I'm not even kidding. I also need to get on Twitch. Jeez Louise. I do need to get on Twitch. These are all missions for me later. I'm gonna do it. I think that I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna create an account on Twitch. I'm gonna do it right. Because, dude, man, I love playing Classic, and I want people to know this, that, like, positive thinking works. Here. Anyway, the video that I'm gonna be making tonight is gonna be broken up into 3 parts. First, we're gonna talk about our beginner experience. Now, what I mean by this is that, like, what was it like being in launch? Now, first we're going to talk about the tailgating. And the tailgate for this case is what we did before launch. And that's really important. Because, you know, people always see the tailgate of a football game, but they don't think about tailgating in life. You know what I mean? I don't even want to use the term pregame. I want to use the term tailgates. So after this, we are going to get into the launch experience. First, I'm going to talk about what it was like being there in launch. I'm playing for 6 hours, and I streamed 6 hours on my channel. You guys can literally check it out. Like, I'm very serious about this. And after I talk about that, we're going to talk about some of the differences, the core differences I found between Classic and Retail WoW, and what I like more about Retail WoW than I like more about Classic WoW, and then what I like more about Classic than I like about Retail. Because there is too, because both games are good. Both games have their purposes. I really do believe that. And then I'm also going to expand into what Classic WoW did for me as a casual player of the World of Warcraft. And finally, I'm going to go into my third section, which is going to be talking about the day after. Because something really profound happened the day after. And you can say that I'm a nerd or whatever you want, but like, just hear me out. Hear me out, YouTube, okay? So we're going to restart Yahoo YouTube. I am Supagenki. In today's video, we're going to talk about the classic World of Warcraft. Yow! Dude, I swear I could do the whole video here in my stream while I'm playing WoW, but like, I don't know. I kind of want to focus. And I would have to turn off the music. Actually, no, I wouldn't. Ah! Big brain. Big brain plays. Turn off the desktop volume. Alright, so. Yahoo, YouTube. I am Supagenki. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Classic World of Warcraft. Before I get into the video, I just want to say a big thanks to Josh Brakos, one of the lead developers of Retail WoW, for helping bring Classic to life. Before we get into the video, I would like to say Before we get into the video, I'd like to give a big thanks to Mr. Josh Brakos. Is that his name? Josh Brakos? I have to check. How did Punkrat say it in his video? Dude, I don't know. You see, this is why I don't want to do two of them at the same time. It's tough. I mean, I could like talk about it, like ramble on about it, of course. But I think we should. I think that'd be fun. Play WoW and do your WoW video at the same time. Get it done. Hold on. In fact, I don't know because what's it called? I still hear the audio in the room, and I don't know if it's picking it up over there. And I think it might be a little difficult to do them both at the same time, so just gonna do practice. Josh Brakos, and I have to watch the history of WoW again so I can get all my facts straight. Mark Hearn, definitely thank you. And the Stardust Progressive Realms team, big thank you for helping develop this game. It's absolutely phenomenal. Thank you, Mark Hearn, for bringing it up to Blizzard, to making it a reality. But the biggest thanks to all of you hardcore gamers out there that helped make the meme a dream by creating the demand that allowed this project to flourish. Because let me tell you, that was really serious. That was really important. Anyway, now that thanks are out of the way, let's jump into the video. Yahoo, YouTube! I am Supagenki, and in today's video, we are going to talk about Classic World of Warcraft. I'm going to be breaking this video up into parts. The first part is going to be my pregame, or what I like to say, the tailgate to launch. It's funny because like when we go to a football game, the tailgate is like a common term that we use to talk about what we do before the game to hype up the game. But how often do we use this term to describe life events? And make no mistake, Classic WoW launch was a life event. After I talk about that, I'm going to start getting into my experience, what it was like being there in launch, how I felt being in launch, how I felt being in launch, what it was like completing my first quest, what it was like killing my first monster, what it was like just being there. That's going to be part 2 of the video. And then I'm also going to talk about some of the biggest differences that I found between Retail WoW and and Classic WoW. Some of the negatives that I found and some of the things that I like about both. You know, I think I like both very much. I don't have any negatives for either of them. Both of them have their positives, but their positives are mainly catered to a specific audience, and you have to understand what your audience is before you give any criticism to either of these games. So the first one is going to be like that. And then after I talk about those likes and dislikes, I'm actually going to go into what WoW means to me today, because Classic completely transformed my understanding of WoW. It really did. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Then after that, I'm going to talk about post-launch, like the day after. Like, how is my day after experience? Yeah. What's it called? I have to figure this out. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to multitask for real. I'm telling you, one of the big differences is that this game requires a lot more focus. You have to actually be focused on what you're doing, or you're gonna die. And dying is not fun because there's a lot of walking involved. So first thing I want to talk about is the pregame. Now I just started talking about this whole idea of tailgating in the beginning of the video. But I think the reason you tailgate is that you want to hype yourself up for the game. But you see, I see life as the same. It's one giant game, and what you got to learn how to do, you got to learn how to hype yourself up for life. You really do. Oh yeah. You really gotta learn how to hype up life. And like I said in the beginning of the video, Classic launch was a world cultural event. It was awesome. There were thousands of people waiting to do this, and literally. Oh yeah, don't let these people frustrate. Dude, man, I swear I am so unfocused. It's hard. It's hard to be able to do all this stuff at the same time. But the idea is that we want to hype up life. So instead of just like hopping in and joining the queue for Classic when it launched, no, I got there to my house like 4 hours early. I jumped into queue and I just waited. I waited there because I was watching videos all week long, and they were like, "Hey, when this game launches, if you're not in before it launches, you're gonna be in like a 10 or 9 hour queue time." And many people suffered 10 or 9 hour queue times. You wouldn't believe it. It was crazy. But what I was doing with those 4 hours was I was learning more about the game. Now there are certain subsets of information that I think are completely relevant to Classic WoW that aren't relevant to retail or the Warcraft, and that's that your class and your race matter. Like, they actually do matter. And you have to learn what you want to do, because leveling is very, very time consuming. And if you level the wrong class and you're not happy with it, you're not going to be satisfied with the game. So I knew I wanted to be a healer. So I started doing research and watching YouTube videos about the healing classes, the races, and what kind of healers you could be. And that's when I decided Unholy Priest. So about 3 hours in, I made my character, and I started. I think that, what's it called? I was here and I was doing this, and I wanted to learn more about Classic WoW, not just like the classes, not just playing, but I want to learn about the history. So I found this video on YouTube called The History of Classic, done by Punkrat, and it is a phenomenal video. I learned so much, and I've watched it like 10 times already. So that was the thing. I was doing this, And I watched that video like 10 times. It's really increased my knowledge base on what Classic was and helped me appreciate the game a lot more. I watched the South Park episode of World of Warcraft, Make Love Not Warcraft. That episode's phenomenal. Definitely, if you're interested in Classic, I highly recommend watching that episode because it's so funny. And finally, like 10 minutes before launch, I jumped into Asmongold's stream on Twitch. Now, Asmongold is the biggest streamer of World of Warcraft in the world. And there were like 213,000 people watching his stream on launch. And that was just when I launched. I didn't watch it anymore after launch. But I heard that his stream actually went up to 282,000K. About 1,000 people. Now, you may be sitting here thinking to yourself, oh, what does all this do? It doesn't really matter. It's just a game, right? Well, yeah, it is just a game. But as long as you're seeing life as just a game, you're not going to be a winner. You really got to prep. You got to put in the time. You got to put in the effort, the extra energy to learn about the game. It's really, really important, guys. And that was the preparation I did. And that was the preparation. Boy, that was actually really good. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good thought. I'm actually going to integrate that in the final video. Dude, my inventory is full. I gotta sell. What is this? Innkeeper? No. Innkeepers tell you stuff. So yeah, definitely. That was the pregame. And now I'm gonna segue into the second thing. I'm going to segue into the second part of this video, which is the experience. Now, like I said, I stream this on my streaming channel, link in the description. And I'm not going to lie. For the first 30 minutes of the game, what am I doing here? Wait, no, I'm putting the 20 boots on. For the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes of the game, my mic was actually off. And you couldn't hear anything. But I was just screaming. Like, literally, I was so excited that I just started screaming at my computer. So actually, it worked out pretty well. Because just all the people that were there, they got me so Genki. The people that were there got me so Genki. So I'm going to switch this out. They got me so Genki. And it was an honest experience. It was an honest. Dude, man, I have to focus on this right now. Alright, good. 1900. Oh, what am I gonna do now? Oh, yeah. Wait, why? Have I been disconnected? Wait, why is it disconnected though? I don't understand. Oh, that's okay. Not a problema. I'll just log back in. I didn't add this person. Hopefully they didn't, like, Oh, buddy, hopefully I don't have queue time. Oh, I pray I don't have queue time. Oh my, look at this. Full. Oh my, wow, Jesus. I don't know, maybe my internet's down right now. I would've known. But it's not, like, super important. I think what's more important is that I just keep talking. So yeah, the idea was that every single step along the way, like every step I took was like exciting because how many people were there, when I got my first quest, like killing my first monster was super fun because like the mobs are super limited and there's not enough mobs for the player base, and like it's a competition against everyone that's around you. So the idea is that, what's it called? Yeah, like killing my first mob was absolutely hilarious. I was screaming with joy when I did it. What's it called? Completing my first quest was cool as well too. Completing my first quest was actually really cool. Completing my first quest was really cool, and you know, I think it took like 15 minutes, but in 15 minutes, I had my first party. And this was really significant because this is where I started to develop that first big difference in my mind from classic WoW. What's it called? I really looked at this thing in my mind and I was thinking about it a lot. And when I had that first group, I mean, first of all, I made questing a lot easier, like a lot faster. It still took like 30 minutes, but it made questing a lot simpler. Because I'm telling you, 5 people comparative to 1,000, I mean, it's a bigger statistical chance than 1 person compared to 1,000, right? So that was pretty cool. But I stuck with the same group for an hour and 55 minutes. And I mean, some people left, but the 2 core members of my group, they stayed, and we were like questing together in this new world on launch day for like an hour and 55 minutes, and then one of my group members had to go. But something about me was that I was like, I'm a social person, but like in retail WoW, if they had to go, I would have just been like, okay, you can go, no problem. But because this was classic, I was like, no, don't go, stay. And I actually talked to this person. I tried to talk to this person and try to convince them to join the group again, and they did over time. And that's when I found the sense of community that was not really present in retail WoW. And I've tried in retail WoW, believe me, I love talking to people and I always want to make friends. But it's harder in retail WoW because retail WoW is somewhat of like a solo play online MMORPG. Like you can group with people, but you don't need to group with people. It's like you don't need to play with people, but in classic it fosters this need to play with people, this need to be social, this really big desire to group up together to complete quests. Like you need to do it because it's the only way to do it faster. It's the only way to do it because the game is a lot more challenging. And that was the first major difference between classic and retail that I encountered. Definitely not even kidding about that. But you know what? I mean, that was a minor difference. Like, that wasn't a minor difference. It was a major difference. And it caused me to want to play more. So the reason why I streamed for 6 hours is because I was with a group of people and we were just getting things done. Like, that's the reason why I streamed for 6 hours. I can't even make that up. I really cannot even make that up. I need to focus here. See, look at this. See, look, like some of these things you cannot just like. That's another difference between classic. Classic WoW does take a lot more time and a lot more focus than retail WoW. Like, it's hard for me to stream while playing classic because I don't want to talk as much. It was a lot easier to stream and play retail than it is to play Classic, because Classic requires a lot more time, energy, and devotion to what you're doing. And I mean, it has its positives and negative sides. I mean, if you really want to make it in Classic, you have to have a lot of time, energy, and commitment into putting into your character. If you... Oh, this is not a bad person. Retail WoW is a lot easier to get results with, and positives and negatives again. It all depends on like what kind of player you are, really. There's no surefire thing. Yeah, look at that. Like, stuff like this, like, I swear. I'm in Ashenvale right now. And I have to quest up because this monster's level 25. And I can't solo it by myself. I could solo it if it was retail, but I couldn't do it in Classic. Yeah, so the idea is that the reason I played for 6 hours is because I had a group, right? And the second big reason that Classic WoW is a lot different than Retail WoW is that there's this sense of meaning that's fostered in the game because the game is challenging. You know, if the game isn't challenging, it's not very meaningful. But Classic World of Warcraft is so challenging that you need to step outside of your comfort zone and talk to people and ask them for help, and that can foster a community. That fosters community of like-minded people, and I thought that was absolutely phenomenal. And I have to write that down because that's actually a really good reference to talk about right now. Meaning through challenge. I tried to send, but it never worked. The details. Blah blah blah. Meaning through. Like, everything matters in Classic WoW. Yeah, I think one without the other would be imperfect, because we target a whole range of audiences, and it's phenomenal the way it is. Definitely, we're talking about the meaning factor, because your mana matters, people you party with matter, your health matters, your abilities matter, how you use your abilities matter, everything matters, because the game is challenging, and that's what a challenge represents, and that's why challenging video games are on the rise. It's because challenge fosters meaning. Easy video games don't foster a... I'm telling you, like, every quest you do, everybody you quest with, like, you want to be their friends because of the meaningfulness. It's a challenge. The challenge creates meaning, and that's the thing. Because, like, Retail WoW isn't necessarily challenging. Not at, like, the lower levels or anything like that. It's more just for the casual base, people that want to progress really easily. And I do think that there are positives and negatives to that, each coin of that side, each side of that coin. Each coin of that side. Oh my wow. What am I saying? But yeah, I think that now I've talked about this. you have to understand why both games work together really well. It's not about like what's better, it's about what kind of player you are. That's what's important. I'm not going to weigh in on what's better. I mean, obviously I like Classic more right now because it's brand new and it's like it's breathtaking and groundbreaking and stuff. But like I'm not a better or worse person. I'm just what kind of gamer are you at the time kind of person. Yeah, we're thinking about this right now. And you see, these big two differences, what they did for me was they created a new kind of video game. Because what I was before, and I probably still am, is I'm a consumer. What a consumer means is that I just consume the product. I don't ask questions. But I had been consuming retail Warcraft all my life, so I never knew anything different. What Classic did, what it does, is it opened my eyes to something different. It brought this new factor into this game that transformed how I viewed it in the first place. And like, it was wonderful because as a casual gamer who never got to experience the game in its original state, because I started in Wrath of the Lich King, I'd been to all these places hundreds of times before, but it's like new experiences of media and community transformed it into a whole new like first time experience. And that was absolutely like phenomenal everyone. I can tell you this. I loved it so much. It's not about which is better or worse. It's about what kind of gamer are you. Because yeah, each has their positives and negatives. And this is going to segue into my final. Even if you're not like, I think you should try both, of course. You should definitely try both. Because you have to understand why both are great before you can appreciate one over the other. Like I appreciate Classic WoW so much because I love retail WoW. I appreciate it so much because I love retail WoW. Honestly speaking, I'm not even kidding about that. So if you want to try it, try it. And if you don't want to try it, still try it because that's how you create this fostering of appreciation in your heart and you can learn to love both games. Which brings me to my final topic, my transitional topic, is that what about the day afterwards? Now, this has never happened in my life, never in my life before. It's where I played a game for 6 hours straight. I went to sleep at like 2 a.m. I woke up at like 6 a.m. I got back on my computer and started playing the game, and I was playing the game with the same people I was playing with last night. And like that was just the sense of adventure that I got from there was, it was so cool. And you may be thinking that, Supagenki, you're such a nerd. Oh my wow, you're such a nerd. Look at you playing all these video games. Well, you know what, YouTube? Yeah, sure, I'm a nerd, but like, can you say that you've had the same experience? Can you say that you've had that before? I don't know. I thought it was really, really cool. And if that's being a nerd, I'm pretty proud to be a nerd because that's a really, really cool experience. It's pretty neat. And you'd be proud to be a nerd if you had it too. What had gone from just a video game, what had gone from a video game I just played because I liked it, turned into a real adventure together and with other people, and that was pretty awesome. There was just like this singular point on my roads in Crossroads that was just like I had to show it to you. I can't even talk. I'm just gonna show you what it looked like because it was just so natural and it was so stuck together, man. It was so cool. Anyway, I'm gonna show you that like right now. And yeah, YouTube, that's the video for today. If this video helped you out and made you want to play Classic WoW, don't forget to smash that like button. Likes really help me out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, trying to get to 100,000 before I'm 23 right now. Leave a comment because I love responding to your comments with Genki energy and positivity, but most importantly, share this video with your friends. We need to get the good word of positive thinking out there to as many people as possible, and the good word of Classic WoW out there to as many people as possible. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Let's stick with this. I want to try, but I don't know if I can do it. Oh, wait, dude, I can't do this on stream right now. I'm gonna try. Stop streaming.